government. How often do you have a government interface as an ordinary citizen? Maybe if you are in business, it will be more often. But even for business, for example, now the government of India has said people who want to invest in India should have a single window clearance. So there is a project being implemented by Infosys, who is the vendor by a tendering process, and now Infosys is going to do a single window clearance. Suppose I want to set up a factory in Maharashtra. For example, you want to set up. Now government says it should be done in 48 hours. Or the timelines cannot be met in the manual thing, so they have digitized the whole thing. Now for that there is a cost to build a data center, 6 different departments have to go through the process. Right? So for all this, the computing costs are there, it's very huge. Each one of them builds a data center, each one does a project for 2-3 years. You know. So now once they put this all in the cloud, the cost of transaction will go down by about 60%, which means the citizens will get the service at a much lower cost. And this forerunner has been the US. Because US had huge data centers for all government departments, one by one they shut. You can read that on the US government website itself. A lot of talk. And Indian government also will follow that very soon. Okay. Maharashtra government is building I think Wipro or somebody has won the contract in Maharashtra government, they're building the cloud. The next step, all these ministers will have to use it as a shared service. Basically what is cloud? Cloud is a shared service. So for government, they have about, see, for example, I think Maharashtra government may have about 40 departments, or 48 or 50 departments. So 50 departments, each one has to build a data center and run it, is phenomenally expensive, right? Whereas the 60 departments can use one data center on the cloud, the cost is phenomenally less. Not only that, they'll get a very resilient, expandable service. And that is where the actually benefit will come, you know. And that's happening. It's going to take a little more time. Maybe I'm ahead of the curve in this whole thing. The idea is, I mean, US college also will be ahead, but the US government has really done it. They have done a wonderful job on that. Europe is trying to do it for the European Union now. They're building their own cloud. Okay, so these things will happen. Okay.
Sir, I have a question to ask you. Sir, you said in your talk that unethical users are using cloud computing like anything. So then where is my data security?
No, it doesn't mean that your cloud is not secure. I think the fundamental issue is I can hire 6 servers from Amazon and do what I want and it. Amazon doesn't care, right? So I have a China wall between me and what the unethical guy does and what I do. For example, how many of you use torrent? All of you use torrent, right? Where do you get your music from? Torrent, right? Torrent is unethical, right? No laws of the world actually allow you to use. Even the Indian IT Act doesn't allow you to take the music free. All laws are there actually, and these will be implemented very soon. I'm actually working with the Mumbai police on this because it's becoming a huge nuisance. You compose a nice song and then somebody puts it on torrent and then gives it to the whole world for free. Where is your IPR? Where is your revenues for it? Same thing that he committed on the design. Right? So what hackers are doing is they require huge computing parts. For example, if I have to break your password, I need supercomputers to do that to run the algorithm, right? So what do? I go to the cloud, hire some servers for breaking my password, whatever algorithm I want to break, and use it. So this is a very unethical use of using the cloud, but you can't stop it because everybody can hire the service. Because you pay for the service and you take it. And why I gave that in context is always unethical guys get the technology first. They're always one step ahead. Even Sir said in risk, they are one step ahead. And then you come and put the controls in place. That's happening. Right? And I don't want to give you more examples as young, bright students on what to do unethical things on the cloud. So that is part of forensics, not for this audience. So I will stop it.
Any more questions?
I want to add one more thing. Many of you are entrepreneurs. See, the biggest beneficiary of the cloud would be the small and medium business. Small and medium business in India don't use CRM, customer relationship management. They don't use ERP. They don't use supply chain management. They don't even use accounting packages other than Tally. Tally is one of the most popular accounting packages. You go to any CA's office, you'll find Tally. Why Tally? Because Tally does Parda accounting. Tally does all sorts of accounting. Right? It's very fantastic. But actually Tally, the data is not very safe because it uses a flat file system. Tally also has got a piracy problem. Tally could not expand. Actually, surprisingly, Tally is the only Indian IT company that made a product in India. Okay, so for that, I had to give a big hand to Goenka who made it. IT. Neither has Infosys made a product, nor have any of these guys, though they claim Infosys they said they made a banking product, but actually it never started as a product. Infosys banking solution started for some customer in the Gulf, which later on became a product. Same thing with other TCS and others. Tally has been the only product company in India to survive on selling a product and not on services. Okay. But Tally also has got limitations. But Tally is becoming expensive. Why Tally is becoming expensive? Because he has become smart. He has put a lock. You cannot now buy. You cannot pirate it anymore. Right? So now there's a cost to Tally. Now if you want to do a cheaper accounting, you can go to the cloud. But Tally also claims they have an ERP, but it's phenomenally expensive to host it and run it. And nothing against Tally. Many companies are doing it and benefiting from it. But the SME is not able to get to an integrated view of the business. When you want an integrated view of concepts, like your board of governors was telling me last evening, you have the three core functions of marketing, finance and HR, okay, and operations, including manufacturing. All four have to have a single view of the business. Right? And to do that sort of systems is phenomenally expensive. You have to build and deploy for SME. Whereas here on the cloud, you can rent the whole thing. Like you can go to salesforce.com, get 5 users, 10 users, whatever you want, and then start populating the data and you are ready to run. Right? There are also Indian companies now. I know another business intelligence company known as Mia. Sanjay is there. He is doing this, Sanjay Mehta, where he is giving business intelligence on the cloud. So you don't have to buy software. You can go and rent the software, link it to your data, and you have a beautiful business intelligence, data warehousing, whatever you want to do. So all this is coming. These are early days what I'm talking. But the SME will be the biggest beneficiary. I have another set of 2 MBA students in SPJ, whom I'm their guide. They are doing a research project for TCS on how the cloud can be harnessed for the SME globally. I mean, TCS is not looking at India, but TCS has already built the cloud infrastructure, and they want to give their solutions globally to SME. So then the SME traditionally cannot even afford a CI because it's a huge cost for it, right? So for these people, it will be a huge benefit to cloud. And this is something many of you are being entrepreneurial in spirit, could start with the CRM on day one, could start with your own email ID, could start with your own domain, all that because of the cloud, because it becomes very affordable. Okay? This is actually the main takeaway for the SME. Pune is one of the biggest centers for SMEs. Okay, and ICICI and others are very aggressive here. Okay, Pune has got more than about, I think, 2,000 SME companies, because I know when I built my exchange, I used to come to Pune very often hoping to visit this company, but those are very early days. But now they are very mature, and this is going to be a great place for cloud computing, even compared to Mumbai, which really has more corporates and less of SMEs. Okay. Any other questions? I'll be happy to answer. It's not about technology, cloud computing. Cloud computing is all about business and running a business very efficiently at the lowest cost. Because one thing is very clear, whether you're a bank, whether you're a stock exchange, but even you're a person, how many people have Blackberries? Can you live without a Blackberry today? Give me back your Blackberry and see what happens to you. You cannot live, right? Same thing. So this is what the cloud is. And where does a Blackberry reside anyway? Blackberry, that servers are sitting on the cloud. Blackberry won't tell you that. Of course, there is a big debate on encryption of the messages, etc. But still, how efficiently it works, right? You get your mail presto in an instant, right? So these are all some of the services you're going to see around the cloud, which you want to know how it's happening to you, right? Because now what is black money way? You go to Reliance or whoever it is, you pay 199 rupees a month, you've got infinite money, right? You keep getting the mail. It's become so low, and the only reason why they're able to give it in such a low cost is because they're leveraging on these new technologies. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir, for solving my queries. Now